Welcome to episode 372 of the Geeks for the Win podcast, the podcast where we cover all. Oh, I messed up on that.
That's staying in.
I was gonna say
how many episodes in? Yeah,
I mean, how many? I've messed up before, but you know, like we're changing the format. I was about to say, you know, like we cover tech and our tech and gaming podcast, but we're not really covering tech and gaming, so today.
Yeah.
So that kind of like
our geeky podcaster.
Yeah, I don't know. It's this is the Geeks for the Win podcast from the GeeksFTW.com, where we cover all things geeky.
There you go.
Typically we do tech and gaming stuff, but you know, it's a new year where the gaming is a bit slow, and also even games are getting delayed, so
right.
You know, less games at the beginning of the year now, and like, you know, we could be talking about, oh, this game's got delayed, and this game got delayed, and well, but who cares about that? Like,
and this person's
people have probably already
E3.
You know, if you're listening, you've probably already heard that, you know, Avengers got delayed and Cyberpunk got delayed, and which take all the time you need, and also, hey, it comes out on my birthday, so I'm happy. When I saw it was delayed to September 17th, I'm like, oh, hey, that's awesome. So, but you haven't really played anything this week, and I've not played anything really worth talking about too much.
Yeah.
But we have stuff we want to talk about. We got some, I guess, movies / TV stuff to talk about.
Yeah, kind of like what we did a couple weeks ago. We're just kind of gonna do an I recommend. You know, like we said before, we're just kind of gonna flip flop, kind of maybe these, and things get kind of slow. We'll do this. Yeah. So I'm okay with this.
When gaming starts to ramp up, you know,
right around summer, and then it's gonna slow down again, and then around the end of the year, it's gonna jump. Then it's gonna jump up again. So
March, April, that's when some big stuff is coming out, right?
Yeah, and we usually get some big news around then too.
And the console, there might be new console news around April, May, right before.
That's kind of what I'm.
That's what they did last year. They did like, didn't each of them have a conference before E3?
Sony didn't it? But it was like small.
And Microsoft did, because I know they had a big one before E3, and then E3 was about like TV stuff and people.
Technically, they're before E3 every year.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, I think it was like a month before.
Yeah.
But, and you know, Sony, they're not going to E3, so who knows what they're gonna do. But anyways, we got some movie / TV stuff to talk about that we've been watching, because
right,
you know, we're losers and we watch a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'll let you go first. What you got?
Okay. The first one I'm gonna kind of talk about real quick is actually one that you recommended last time.
Oh, okay.
And that is
I recommended a lot. Oh,
Dog and Scissors. I didn't. Okay. Quick backstory on this one. bookworm. He loves to read books. Just loves
Obsessed with
books.
books.
Yes, an unhealthy obsession. Yes, that is. He ends up getting killed, and he ends up being found by this girl who just happens to be his favorite author.
And he got killed because he was saving her.
Yes, he saved her because she's oblivious to the world around her when she writes. And she can hear his thoughts. So hijinks ensue.
Not like he can talk to her, but she can hear his thoughts. So even when he's thinking stuff that he doesn't want her to think.
The things that you think but don't say, yeah, she hears.
Well, I like how she's flat-chested.
He says that a lot. I didn't expect this anime to go the way it does. Especially with her falling in love with the damn dog.
It gets kind of weird, yeah.
Like, to the point where she's off in La La Land in her fantasy where she's marrying a dog. It's like,
but I mean, it's not just it's not just a dog though. It's like, it is a human inside. You know, I guess their soul or whatever you want to say inside. Dog. So it's not. I see it the same way as like if you have a cyber relationship with someone like you've never met, you know, but you talk to, and you know, it's no different than that.
And then you find out they're a dog.
The weird thing, I'll give you, the weird thing is when they're talking about like babies. When she's like, "You want me to have your babies?" And it's like, okay, that's good. No.
Yeah.
That's
and she's weird. Abusive. Like, I mean, like, criminally abusive. That poor dog.
But it's a human inside a dog, so it's okay.
It's still a dog.
I know, yeah.
But yeah, if you can't tell by it, it's a comedy.
And, yeah, it's a comedy, and
just fantastical, like, impossible things happen.
And it's one of those where just the craziness escalates.
Yes, like, I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna make this curry with the chainsaw.
Or
the dude's sister is weird.
Was it the editor? She's the editor, right? Or
you're talking about the making curry with the chainsaw. That was the dude's sister.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about. I said, or the editor who's a masochist.
She's like part of a masochist group,
masochist cult. Yeah,
she's
who go to retreats.
Yes, where they hang them. Yeah. Yes, it was very odd, but it was enjoyable. It was definitely enjoyable.
Yeah, like it's for what it is. Yeah, I got some chuckles from it, and it's not like fan service was like unbearable or anything like that. Even though it does get kind of weird with her, you know, and the dog.
Yeah.
But it's also like, you know, doesn't really have anybody in her life. So this is the first person who's really like she's had in her life to take care of, and, you know, because the people around her life before this they don't really like, you know, have deep relationships with her.
Right.
So you definitely see some character growth, but it's a goofy anime. So
yeah, it's silly. Okay, you're next.
Oh, what anime have I been watching? I got caught up on Sword Art. Well, the dubbed.
Okay.
So that's
now is that just the main series, or have you gone into the spinoffs?
Yes, the main.
Okay.
So I had left off halfway through the Sword Art Online 2, which I mean, I think I was more than halfway through it because a lot of I just started rewatching at the halfway point, and I'm like, I remember this episode, I remember, but I just watched them because I'm like, they're short episodes, so I don't feel like restarting 5 different episodes just to, I'll just rewatch these couple episodes, get refreshed. But I finished that, and then I started the Alicization.
Okay, I've not really gotten into that one yet. I think I've watched like the first maybe 2 episodes.
That gets weird as fuck. Like they're
Yeah,
talking about like they create like artificial souls in this like virtual world that's kind of like, MMO because they're trying to get art AI intelligence to like do stuff. Like it gets weird. Like it starts out with like, oh, Kirito is a kid and he's in this village with this
which,
girl and this
by the way,
boy, and you're like,
confused the hell out of me at
what?
first. I'm like, it confused the hell out of me.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's like, wait, what's going on here? Because he's a little kid, and like, is this an MMO that he's playing? That he's playing a little kid? Like, it was weird, but it's like, oh no, he's a little kid, Kirito, and it shows like this relationship, and it gets explained later that like, that is an MMO that he's kind of testing, or he's testing this like new system, this new deep dive system. And it's interesting. It really is, and
From
there's,
from just kind of looking at like the art and stuff, it gets dark. Like
it
that one
does
gets
get dark,
dark.
and like without spoiling too much, like he gets attacked in the real world by the third person from uh the Gun Gale like people, like
Oh, there was a third. I didn't know there was a third.
well, they talked about there was a third like at the end of at the end of that arc
Did
where
they?
like
Okay,
the
it's been
chick's
a while,
friend
so
turns out to be, was it Shinon
Shinon, Shinon,
Sinon Shinon, yeah, when like her friend turns out to be one of them, and the
right?
brother's the other one, and like when that dude from like the bureau of whatever is like, talking to Kirito and her, like he says, yeah, there's a third person out there, but we haven't,
Okay, yeah, I forgot that completely.
yeah, like I said, I just, I watched it recently, so that's why
Right?
it's
Yeah.
fresh in my mind. But so yeah, like he gets attacked by it, like he gets attacked with like some kind of weird like injection, like the dude has some injection thing, and he injects Kirito with it, and he like it's like destroying his memories or something. Like, it's doing something weird, and they have to put him in like the deep dive system to kind of like do something to help rebuild his brain pattern memory structure thingy. Whatever. So he's stuck in that MMO. Like he's stuck in the world where it starts
Sure.
out, with Alice and him and I forgot what
Blonde
the other dude's
kid.
name is.
Blonde kid. Yep.
Yeah, what is his name? It's gonna drive me crazy, but um, so he's stuck there, and he meets the blonde kid, and they have no memory of him because I guess it's been rewiped or restarted without him or something, whatever. And he's like stuck in it and can't get out and has to progress, and it gets dark, and it gets kind of crazy, and it gets really crazy sci-fi, like crazy sci-fi. So but it's enjoyable, and they have like the second season subbed, but not
Okay.
dubbed yet.
Okay, yeah,
So
I'll probably pick that back up again. But like I think I told you this before. You should check out the Gun
the
Gale
Gun
spinoff.
Gale, yeah, I have that on my list. Yeah, so I'll definitely will check that out. But yeah, the Sword Art Online, I really like the dubbed. I really like the voice actors. So I'm definitely gonna wait for the dub of season 2. I think it's I don't know. I don't know if it's called Alicization or if it's called like Underworld or whatever, because I think that's what the project is called, or the world is called. It's like Underworld or Under something. I don't know. And it's weird. It gets really matrixy, sci-fi, weird, like military craziness. And I want to say that. Oh no, I guess that's actually technically part of, because they are they do they. I guess it was one of the, you said you watched one of the first 2 episodes, right, of Alicization?
Yes.
Do you remember when they're in Gungale and they are fighting like a military group?
No.
I want to say that's like the second episode. They're like in Gungale, just helping helping her out with something, and
Oh, maybe
there's
it's
like
is
a
it getting her a sniper rifle? Helping Chino get like a certain sniper rifle, because that sounds
I
familiar.
don't remember that, but like they're fighting this like group, and like the leader is like above on the top of a hill, like giving in orders to different squads and whatnot, and they're like being real militaristic with it and stuff, and then they end up retreating because Kirito and all of them are whooping ass.
As they undoubtedly do, because yeah.
They I don't they apply it kind of feels like I'm not quite sure, but it kind of feels like later on in the series, like in the real world, that group plays a part.
Okay.
It's very weird. Like, so I guess they used Gun Gale as training, maybe for.
Yes, that is explained in the Gun Gale spinoff, where like some military groups are using Gun Gale Online as a training program.
Yeah, because they focused on like the leader giving orders and stuff and telling them to retreat, and I was thinking, this is kind of weird to be just a one-off thing, and then they, I see another character, during another part where they're like military actions going on in the real world, and I'm like, is this the same group? Is this supposed to be the group that was in? It's yeah. Once you actually get through it, we can talk about it, and I can get
Yeah,
your thoughts on it.
I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, it was hard to find streaming. I had to go to that Kiss Anime site because although it aired on Toonami/Adult Swim, like
Mm-hmm.
it's not on Funimation dubbed. It's not on. I didn't see it on Crunchyroll or uh, High Dive Dove on Verve. Like I could not find it. Like that was the only place I could find it dubbed, was the Kiss Anime site. And the Adult Swim watermark was on it though, so I'm like, this did air. This did air, so it's
Because it
weird that
might be going to
this.
Netflix. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Which Netflix and anime fucking sucks because it's so like it's always so late after the show.
It, Yeah, it is pretty late. Yeah.
Like it could be like a year after the show.
And
Um,
you'll see, I'll look at certain animes and they'll be like new episodes, and I'm like, wait, those aren't new. They're new on Netflix, but those are old episodes. Like, so yeah, it's good. It's enjoyable. It's more, and it's more of a, and it's also like there's also like back and forth, like Kirito, his adventures inside the virtual world. It's not quite an MMO, but like it is. It's like like I said, like there's weird stuff where they're like creating artificial intelligence inside, and it's odd. I just don't want to spoil anything, so that's why I'm tripping over my words. But it's fun, and I downloaded the game because the game's on Game Pass for Xbox now.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, the Fatal Bullet. Haven't played it yet,
Oh,
but like,
that's the one that I have. I have that one. I got it for cheap.
yeah. But yeah, it like as soon as I got done watching, I don't know, I saw something that was like, "Hey, this is on Game Pass," and I'm like, "Wait, that's convenient." Like, I finished the anime and the game's on Game Pass now. I was like, I wonder if it's on PC Game Pass. No dice, just Xbox. So, alrighty, you're next. What else you got?
Let's see. I watched an anime called From Commonplace, or it's called Arifreta. From Commonplace to World's Strongest.
I think I talked about this with you,
Did
maybe.
you? Then I
'Cause
completely
I did
blanked it
watch
out.
this a while ago. This is the
Yes,
one
it,
where
it
like they're teleported to another world and he gets like betrayed in a dungeon.
yes. Yeah, well,
He
like
has to go like
his whole class gets teleported to another world. It's not just like one person. It's his whole class, and he gets like the most basic ability of
and they're
uh
teleported on purpose,
yeah, they're
not just like
summoned.
accidentally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a like I think all of them are they've summonings. I don't think not very many of them are accidents anymore.
I mean, there are a lot where it's just like it's not explained why he's summoned, or why the person's summoned. There are those, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's more common now where like the person or people are summoned, and this is one of them where they're summoned, and yeah, he
This is the
gets
one where I remember telling you a while ago about like when they certain parts where they fight the monsters are like this weird 3D animation
yeah.
versus what yeah.
It's not as I've seen worse. I've seen
Oh yeah. There's
worse, but I it's yeah.
but like the monsters will be the weird animation, but they'll still be the regular animation, and it's just weird to see both like next to each other. It's not just
Yeah.
like a cut to them and
Now,
then it
now,
cuts
now that you're
back.
saying this, I remember we had this conversation last time because I was talking about Overlord with that issue, and you
Yeah.
brought up this one, and I
Oh, yeah.
completely blanked that this was the one you were talking about, and I just
But
happened to watch it.
I think I have mentioned this anime like a while back ago though too.
Maybe I don't know. I we talk a lot about stuff, so yeah.
We do. That is true.
um, but yeah, he gets betrayed, um, and thrown down deeper into the dungeon where like even like their strongest people can't quite get to him. So he's stuck at the bottom. So the only way out is of course down. So he starts eating monsters and getting their abilities because he finds out he can do that. And then he finds this vampire girl. And they start a very uncomfortable relationship.
Yeah, and like she's like in this weird like temple trap, whatever, like
Yeah.
that he has to release, and yeah, it
Yeah,
gets
and
kind of weird. Yeah,
and it's one of those where she looks like she's like 10, but she's like 300 years old. So it's legal. And they totally have that kind of relationship too. Because he straight up at some point calls her his lover. So yeah.
I mean they don't really show like.
No, but it is implied heavily.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it's one of those dude is overpowered that I kind of tend to like. So
Yeah, it's because he keeps like he keeps eating new monsters and getting more power, and
yeah, uh,
I enjoyed it when
and
he came across like his teacher and classmates or
yeah,
whatever.
I was waiting for that much. Like it's like because it took forever for that to happen. I'm like he's got to come across them and like just show him up. Like he's way more powerful. But like he's gotten to a point where like he doesn't care about them anymore.
Because they left him for dead. Yeah.
In his mind, just like they all betrayed me. So he doesn't care about them anymore, and he's gonna get home on his own. And I think there is gonna be a season 2.
I hope so. It was enjoyable.
It was. I liked it. And of course, looking up if there was going to be a season 2, I found out that the fans of the source material were completely outraged.
And they also come across was it a rabbit girl? Right?
As a bunny girl, yeah.
Bunny girl? Yeah. And they're bunny people, and he teaches them how to like defend themselves, and
yes, because
they
are helpless bunny people. They're bunnies, and he
but
teaches them to be warrior bunnies.
And they become warrior bunnies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it's funny because it's the second anime that I'm going to talk about today that has warrior bunnies in it, but all right, it's a first of 2.
I've got an anime that have bunny girls in it. Not necessarily warriors, but yeah.
Mine does. Okay. Anyway, yeah, he kind of finds out that he has to go through multiple dungeons in order to get maybe the ability to go home. So he's going through multiple dungeons, or trying to find multiple dungeons.
That second one was kind of weird. Where like there was like traps and the weird yeah,
because like all these dungeons were set up like long ago by powerful people. And they left kind of their treasured magic at the end of the dungeon for whoever beats it to find, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed that he didn't confront the person who actually betrayed him. He just because eventually he does meet up with like the rest of his class, not just like his teacher and like a handful of others, but he does meet up with like the entire rest of his class, including the dude that betrays him, that secretly betrayed him, and he knew who it was, but he didn't confront him at all. And I'm like, I wish he would have.
Well, I mean, he's at the point where he's like, I don't care anymore. They're dead to me, like you were saying. Like,
well, and like looking up this. If this is going to be if there's going to be a second season, the fans of the source material don't like it because it cuts a lot, including him confronting that guy, because he does confront him.
Ah, okay.
Like from what I read, it's a conversation that they have, not, you know, they don't fight. But yeah, like apparently, like it's a bunch of light novels, of course, and like where the anime starts, it's like halfway through the first book, because like the first book actually leads up, you know, what the class was like before they went to were transported to that world, and it really builds up that he, you know, how much he gets bullied.
Yeah, I don't remember them really touching much at all on
They
them
really
being
didn't, and that's
transferred or transported and all that.
and that's kind of one of the things that the fans, you know, did not like.
To the point where like halfway through the show, they bring that up again, and I'm like, wait, I don't remember that. Oh, okay. Because I guess at the beginning I was like halfway paying attention.
Well, like the description, you know, of the series says, like, you know, he's bullied and stuff, and like you're not really shown that he's really bullied. Yeah, there's a kid who's kind of mean, but like, not, I wouldn't call that a bully. But so yeah,
It's definitely a good one.
I think there is going to be a second season. I hope there is.
I had fired this up because I forgot to take this off like my like uh was it my watch list or whatever on Funimation,
Mm-hmm.
and I was about to play this, and then I was like, wait, I've watched this already. like recently, like this week, I was about to rewatch this without knowing, and then I'm like, wait, no, I've watched this already. Okay.
For such a unique name, it's a forgettable name. Like you
Yeah,
can just, like, it's, you know, Adi Freta
that the
is
cover
just,
art right there that you
yeah,
have, like,
it's generic.
yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I hope there's going to be a second season. All right, what do you got?
Okay, one I've got. Um, this is gonna be kind of funny, but this anime involves a character who his favorite game's about to be shut down, and he gets uh his body teleported to an online game, and it's
Oh,
not what
okay.
it's it's not the one. It's not Overlord.
It's
Or
I've yeah, okay. Started typing in Overlord.
it's Demon Lord Retry, where this guy is this like it's weird because this like his character in a game is like it's very weird, but it's like a real life like he's like a demon lord. They call him, and he acts like it, but like everything like he talks about from the previous game is kind of like, you know, set in real world stuff, because like, you know, he has a whenever he's able to get enough abilities when he kills people or when he kills enemies and stuff, he gets more like attribute points, and he can use those to like summon people from his game that he used, like, you know, like, I guess companions, the equivalent to. And like there's like doctor, like one is a doctor, and like so like there's actual like the game he comes from, like this character is from, is like an actual real world type game, not a fantasy thing, but he's teleported to a fantasy game in the body of the character from the other game.
You've kind of lost me already.
It's like like he's wearing a suit and tie, and he's like a
I see that.
he's got kind of like like a crime boss type vibe going on.
That I can see as well.
And like I said, like one of his companions is like a doctor, and another one's like a kind of like a military gun expert type character and stuff like that. But they're teleported to like a fantasy world where where there are like demons and devils, and there's this he's teleported, and then there's also this like what's it called, this cult of Satanists who teleport this demon king or whatever as well, and the main character ends up wiping out the demon king like easily because it's another one of those where like he's overpowered. But there's a
Excellent.
weird thing where since he's from a different game, this world has magic, and his character hasn't has no like magic resistance.
Okay.
And he's trying to figure out a way to get that, but like he ends up getting into a situation where he ends up like is he's able to like switch characters, I guess, from a different game he played or whatever, and it's this like dragon lord guy or whatever, and it's like a different personality, and it's he's more outgoing and not like cool, slick crime boss guy like, he normally is. This other one's like real outgoing and like just kind of quippy,
Okay.
kind of like Spider-Man quippy with lines and the way he talks and stuff like that. And it's funny cuz like when he is this other character, the dragon dude or whatever, like he has like one of the main characters, like her sister ends up seeing this guy and ends up falling in love with her or falling in love with the dragon guy. And then like, there's another character who's in love with the main character, and it's weird. It's very weird, but the the interesting thing is he first comes across this little girl, and I know you don't don't think weird things because he ends up having like a daughter father relationship with this little girl
Okay.
instead of like a creepy relationship like you would think in animes. But he comes across this little girl who like, oh my god, her life is just shit. Literally, her village makes her clean up shit from like outhouses and stuff like that. Like she's got to clean out all the like stuff like that, and they end up treating her like horror, and she's like a little like she's like 5'6", like a little girl. But this village is just like horrible to her, and they end up finally deciding we're gonna sacrifice her to this demon king, or whatever, or not. I don't know if it was the demon king. I think it was another demon creature or whatever. But the main character, he ends up killing that, and then killing that creature easily, of course. And then he ends up befriending this little girl, and like I said, it grows into a he even mentions how he's acting more like a father towards her, and it's becoming more of a father relationship. And it's very weird. Like it's not like I said, it's not what your typical like anime. Like you would see more of a like romantic relationship between him and some kind of character versus like a father-daughter relationship. And then the main character is like I think he's like or in his 20s or whatever, but he's like in the body of like like I want to say like they do like in between like I guess like commercial breaks, like quote commercial breaks. They have like the cards where they show like one of the new characters they introduced, and they have like stats for him, like name, age,
Mm-hmm.
sex, either male or female, and stuff like this. And they say his character's I think like 45. So it's like a 20-year-old and a 45-year-old body. So it's pretty weird. It's a short anime. It's like 12, 13 episodes, but it's interesting, and it like I said, it has there he ends up going to like a village with like this one character, and he brings he's able to build stuff with like his attribute points that he gets from killing other stuff, and he puts like a hospital and a hot spring in this like this fantasy world, and they have like no idea what the hell is going on because it's fantasy. They don't know anything about science and stuff like that. And it's like full on hospital, like not like a fantasy version of a hospital, but like a real world hospital in a fantasy world. So it's pretty weird, and he like introduces like soap, like this special soap that people get like so crazy about.
Okay.
I mean, like, it's interesting because, like, if you are in a fantasy world where, like, we're used to, moisturizing soap and stuff like that being like common, but like, in one of these like fantasy type RPG, MMO worlds, like, yeah, they don't, you never see them have like special soap for, moisturizing or, hot spring treatments, like salt scrubs and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting. And there's a lot of like different weird side characters here and there. Like there's this one one character who's like acts like a girl but is really a boy, but like looks like one of those like little girl witch characters, like little,
Okay.
yeah. And it's weird because like it's kind of uncomfortable when they get to like her because she's like talking about the demon lord like, oh daddy, and like saying all kinds of weird shit, and she has like a friend character
Don't
who is a
ever say it
female.
like that again.
She has like another character who's just like kind of like, hey, you are a dude and stuff like that, and like, what do you talk about, why are you being this way, like why do you always have to be so sexual, and it gets very weird. Like some of the side characters are weird, but like, yeah, they open up the hot spring in the hospital in like the bunny village, and he gets kind of frustrated because like they end up like they're like, oh, people expect us to say bunny when we get after every sentence, or hop, and one character always says bunny at the end when she speaks, and one always says hop. And he gets frustrated because like sometimes they don't do that, but then sometimes they do, and he's just like, now you're just messing with me because he's trying to say you don't have to say bunny or hop at the end of every sentence. So
I will check it out.
it's very weird to explain without like spoiling certain things, but it's more of a it's another one where it's more of a comedy type stuff. Like
Definitely
there
looks like
is
it. Yeah.
some action stuff, but you know, there's other, and he comes across this like one character who ends up being like the s- second like traveling companion to him, and who's like fighting him, and he ends up like grabbing her and spanking her like, comedically. Like, you're out of place. Spank, spank, spank.
Right.
And she never gets over that. and she always talks about how he's obsessed with her butt and stuff like that. And she's this like hoity-toity like magic maiden type character who like just watches over a certain land or stuff like, like it's pretty funny. But yeah, I saw the premise and I'm like, this sounds oddly familiar, but it's quite different than the was it Overlord?
Yeah, yeah. Did you ever
Yeah,
finish
which
Overlord? Because
I did
you
not
had
know.
started it, or
Yeah, I forgot, to be honest.
yeah.
I forgot about it, but I probably will watch it because I do need something else to watch. I've kind of don't have anything in particular as my next thing to watch. But that oh, I do have one more anime, but yeah, so that but you're next. You got
Okay. Um, before I get to my good one,
oh, your good one. Okay.
one that I rewatched, like, and I finished it today. Like, I finished rewatching it today. Was Gate. We
Oh,
I had
Gate is
mentioned
so
Gate
good.
last time. And I was like, I haven't seen Gate in a while, and I like the only parts I remember of it is kind of like the beginning, like the first season stuff. I don't remember any of the second season. So I'm like, I'm gonna rewatch Gate, and I just plow through it. Just oof.
Oh, it's so good. It's such a
It
good
was
anime.
really good. I really enjoy. Yes, I really hope
Like
that
I
there's a
want a
third
third
season.
season. I
I
want one
really
so
hope there's a
bad.
third. It's still within the window where like it could happen, like maybe end of this year, next year. So
Yeah, like winter 20 lineup, right?
2021, yeah.
Does it does the is it
Winter
20 is
is
it the beginning of the year that
yeah.
the anime starts for winter
Winter
or
is the beginning
okay.
of the year. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was end or beginning. So okay. Gotcha. Hopefully cuz it's definitely enjoyable.
Yes, and it definitely leads it leaves it off where like the antagonist wasn't defeated. He ran away, so he could still be a problem. And just a
Yeah, and
quick premise of it: a large gate, name, hey gate, is kind of opens up in the middle of Japan, and all these monsters and like medieval soldiers kind of walk out of it, and started killing just random people in Japan. And so like the police eventually kind of defeat them because they got guns and the other guys have swords. And so the Japanese self-defense force, which is Japan's military, goes through the gate, and they find it's a whole nother world. So they set up base there and start exploring.
isn't the main character like a civilian who ends up like
No,
kicking ass at the beginning? Okay,
no,
maybe I'm confusing that with.
he's dressed as a civilian because he's on
Okay,
his day.
yeah,
It's
that's
his
what
day
it is.
off. It's his day
Yeah,
off.
okay.
But no. He's like a second lieutenant in the JSDF, and
Yeah, he
he's
does like kick ass at the beginning, and
yeah,
right?
because even though he's a big old slacker, he's he's special forces. He's a ranger. He's actually got some pretty elite skills that he just doesn't show off.
Yeah, I remember the beginning of that. I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." And he becomes like he gets recognized for
Yeah, that he
his
doesn't want,
work.
because his whole he wants to be a slacker. He just wants
Yeah, he
to
just wants to read manga and
he just wants
stuff like that.
yes.
Yeah.
That's all he wants to do. So, but yeah, it's really good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a second time watching. So
It's good. Yeah, it's one of those where it's like I want a third one. I want it more. Like it's one of those animes where it leaves it open for more.
yes,
Definitely.
because it does that. Because like, hey, if you want to find out what happens, buy the books.
Yeah. Okay. Before I get to my last anime, I forgot to mention it's something that was kind of funny in Demon Lord Retry. When he gets teleported, he's like, "Man, maybe I should have paid more attention to the animes where they get like I forget what they're called, but like he references like that genre of animes because
Yeah, that has become very popular lately. Yes.
he's like, "Dang it, I should have paid more attention to those animes because I'm not quite sure what to do now." I thought that was pretty funny. Like,
Yeah, in
oh,
fact, referencing other isekai animes is becoming now common in isekai
isekai. There we go.
animes.
Yeah, yeah. Which it's always my thought. Like it's very similar to my thought on zombie movies. Like, are there no zombie movies in zombie movies? Because they all zombie movies they act like they've never seen as like zombie movies don't exist and they have no idea what's going on.
Right.
It always
Yeah.
takes like halfway through the movie before they realize, oh, you have to shoot for the head to actually kill the zombie. Like
Like, I just
almost every
discovered
zombie
this.
movie. Like you don't have zombie movies in your world? Like, yeah, that's always been a pet peeve of mine. Like, so, but yeah. Um I haven't finished it, but I have started. It's an older anime,
Okay.
D Gray Man.
Oh, I know of this one.
Yeah, it's one of those
I've
that I've
definitely
always like.
seen. I've seen it. Like, I've seen
Yeah,
that title, that poster before, but never watched it.
yeah, it's an older one, I think, because it
It
definitely
is, yes.
looks. It definitely it doesn't look bad, but it does look. It doesn't look as nice as animes now, but it like
Early
it doesn't look as
2000s,
yeah, it doesn't look as bad as others.
I
Other old
think.
animes like for example, was it like something like Slayers? You go back to that, that's rough to watch.
Oh yeah, well that's 90s though.
Yeah, I guess, but yeah, technically. I think it led
Yeah,
up to
Slayers
2000s though.
I couldn't watch. I
I
couldn't watch
watched the first
Slayers.
season of that, but surprisingly that had a lot of different like spin-offs. But anyways, D Gray Man is like was the main character is he's a exorcist who has like who is cursed with an eye that can like see like what are they called? Oh, they're like it's this term. I can't think of the name, but they're like hold on. Let's see. Can I find out what it does it say? And there's a lot of like to this anime apparently. Like there's a lot of episodes. So I've watched like probably 5, maybe 6 so far. But he's got a eye where he can see like I guess the demons or whatever. I'm trying to find out what the actual name for them are called. It's a
Not Akuma, is it?
character Akuma. There we go. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I think it's Akuma. Yeah. Um. So yeah, Akuma. And he's able to see like through like people like Akumas and see like, oh, this person's an Akuma and stuff like that. And he has like a arm that's like all weird and deformed and demony like, but that it's an anti Akuma weapon or whatever, and it can, kill and whatever. But the cool thing is it's the same voice. It's basically the same voice as Natsu
Okay.
from Fairy Tail. So it's a nice familiar voice. At least the main character, it's good voice acting. And considering it is, mid early 2000s. So, you're not quite sure with with animes, I think mid to early 2000s is when dubs start to actually get, good quality.
Yeah.
Um and he ends up going there's like this headquarters he ends up going to that's like that's their that's their job, I guess. Like it's weird cuz it's like they're exorcists, but there's also like scientists who are part of the exorcist, like so it's not quite just, like spiritual exorcism type stuff, but there's like, like at least they're dressed like scientists, and like white lab coat type stuff. And but it's enjoyable so far. Like, he's fighting, you know, there's various episodes, there's various was it like, oh, he's over here dealing with this, and he meets this character who it does this and ends up turning his mom into an Akuma. And there's the was it the villain is like the Millennium Earl, who is like creating all these Akumas, and he's preying on people who are like, sad because like someone died. He's like, I can bring him back into this body, and then he does. He brings him into this like this almost like kind of robotic skeleton type looking body. And they end up like, they end up like, why'd you do this to me? Why'd you make me an Akuma? Why'd you bring me back? Like it gets really dark and like kind of scary at points, like how dark it gets. And then the Millennium Earl guy who's like, he looks goofy, like he looks very different than everyone else, you know. He's like this kind of like,
Yeah, he does.
yeah, okay, you saw him. He looks very different and very weird, and it kind of it's almost off-putting because it's so different from everything else. But like, yeah, he creates them, and he preys on, like I said, he preys on people who are sad to, and he commands the people who have come back to like now kill your, like like for instance the mother, he's like, now kill your son and wear his skin and whatever. And then it ends up, yeah, it gets dark. It gets very dark, but it's enjoyable so far. I'm liking it, and it's one of those that I've known about forever, you know.
Yeah, same.
And I think it's still going on? Or I don't know. At least up until recently, there's still been more anime. I think, yeah, in 2016. There's like 100
Yeah.
episodes of the regular one. So like there's a lot to this. So this is one that I can like,
There's 103, and then there's a sequel series that has 13.
yeah, and this is one that's like popped up on Funimation, like maybe there's new dubs of it that's been released, like, well, no, you see, episode. I don't know. It's weird. It, but I remember seeing this pop up, and I'm like, this is an older anime. Why is this like, you know, on like the front page of, the site or whatever, but it's good, it's enjoyable. It's very dark in the style of it. It's a very, like, gothic style, you know, type anime where there's you know, a lot of battling at nighttime and, you know, stuff like that. Because exorcists and stuff like that, so not a lot of, at least not yet, there hasn't been a lot of colorful, like, stuff, like colorful areas or, you know, places they've gone to, but it's enjoyable. I'm enjoying it. It's one I'm gonna There's 103 episodes. I'm on, like, episode 5 or 6, so
So you got some
it
ways to go.
it's not I'm not gonna, like, marathon through it, but it's gonna be one I like watching a couple episodes here and then a couple episodes there, like when I, go to here and there, kinda, because there are so many episodes, like, I can't, like, it's easy to, like, marathon through, like, a 12-episode season, but, like,
Right, yeah.
103 episodes, that's a little
Not so
too much,
much. Yeah.
and there's other animes I kinda wanna watch, so it'll be like, "Oh, I finished this anime, so now I'll watch a few episodes of D. Gray Man," which is a weird name. I'm not quite, I don't know,
Yeah.
and, but it's good, it's enjoyable, and that's all the anime for me.
All right, I got one more. So we perfect. Um, I watched Demon Slayer,
It's on my
and
list.
boy, it's good. It's good. It took it. I didn't instantly love it. Like this one took me a while. Like
It
almost till
seems
I
like it.
finished. I
Yeah.
finished the show to love it. To start to love it. Um, I, First off, the animation and the art style is beautiful. Like it is high budget. Um, so in the premise of it is, kid lives in this takes place in like the maybe early 1900s.
Okay.
And kid lives in the like in the on like on in the mountains with his family, with his mom, two brothers and two sisters. I think there's six of them altogether. It was a kind of a large family. And he has an unusual like strong, like almost dog like sense of smell. Like he
Okay.
can like smell things like really far away, kind of a thing. It's kind of not really explained why he has this sense, but he does. And he's sent to the village to sell something. I forget what it was now. And when he comes back, he finds his whole family has been killed, and his one of his sisters, the eldest uh, sister, has been turned into a demon. And a demon slayer shows up. He's just kind of a dude with the katana, and he kind of notices that she acts different. Like she's not instantly attacking her brother. Instead, she's defending him, which he finds odd. And she's not eating any humans. And kind of how demons work, like the more humans they eat, the stronger they are. but like she's kind of unusually strong without eating anybody. And she still has some of her humanity left. Like, she refuses to eat another human. But to kind of help that, they literally muzzle her by taking a bamboo stick and just putting it in her mouth and tying it, So she doesn't really talk anymore. She just kind of makes sounds. Like cooing sounds or growling when she's angry, kind of a thing, But he then tries to go off and find the demon that did this, and what best way to do that than become a demon slayer yourself, and go off and try to find him, and hijinks ensue. And like I said, it's a gorgeous, like the animation is really freaking good.
It looks good. I gotta say that.
Yeah, like I thought it was okay, for a while. I didn't instantly fall in love with it. Like it took me, it took me a
time
couple
before it clicked.
Yeah, it like well over half the series until it clicked. It's like, oh, you know what? This is actually what good storytelling is. Like really good storytelling that I've not really been watching from other anime. I've been watching just kind of mediocre anime and being okay with that. But this is really fucking good. And the animation is really fucking good. So yeah, I don't really want to say more about it because it just spoil it.
Okay.
But there is going to be a second season, but before that, there's a sequel movie. So like where the anime ends, the movie looks like it's going to pick up right there, like right at the end. And then there's going to be a season after that, at least. So, and I don't know when the movie is coming out. It's coming out sometime this year. So, yeah, that's my last one. So yeah, I don't have anything live action that I've watched, really. It's just been a whole lot of anime.
Yeah, I forgot I did the Sword Art Online. I did watch the movie. That was really good.
The Cardinal whatever.
The ordinal scale.
Ordinal scale, that's it. Yes.
Where it's like AR instead
it's an AR game, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
That was really good. I really enjoyed that. Have you seen it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially at the end where like they even show was it? They show what's her name? I'm drawing a blank. Oh god, what's her name? The love interest to Kirito.
Asuna?
Asuna, yeah. They show like her use the move of was there Yuki?
Oh, uh-huh. And
they actually show like Yuki, like that was a really nice touch.
I remember that. Yeah.
I got a little that man. I think I sent you a message about like the end of Sword Art Online 2.
And I had to look that up. Like,
emotional.
Oh, yeah, Yuki, that's rough.
That shit got emotional. Like I did not expect.
I don't know if I told you that I've read a bunch of these Sword Art books. I've read a bunch of them, and the last one I read was Mother's Rosario, which is Yuki's story.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't. I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with the series. I can't. Not anymore.
That got really emotional, and I was just like, it's just like, it's just flip, like they just decided, hey, Gun Gale's over with. Now let's do this totally separate arc with Asuna, and
And it
like
starts out like really boring.
it does, but then it gets like very emotional with like you finding out like, oh no, she's actually like this whole like group that they this whole party is like terminally ill, and
Yeah,
they're, you know, and then like they're playing, and then they end up was it hacking the or having the wearable camera or whatever, and having her go to school with her and all that, and like, man, it gets emotional, and I'm just like,
yeah,
I was not ready for I was not ready for this, like, but when I saw like that reference, like it was just a slight like they didn't make a huge deal in the movie, but like when it happened, I was like, oh shit, it's Yuki. Oh, that was a nice touch. But man, that art, the movie quality, man, I want more anime movies because like it looks so good. Like everything looked so good in that movie. But I've got two live action things to talk about.
okay, cool.
One is the Crisis, the Infinite Crisis event for
Uh,
the CW. The final two episodes of that aired.
I heard that movie dude showed up, like Movie Flash showed up.
Or yeah, Ezra Miller. He made an appearance. And I gotta say, I saw this like the next day after it had aired. So like this was like right before like I guess I started seeing those articles, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was totally shocked. I'm like, wait, that's the suit, that's the Flash suit from, okay, wait. I need to go to IMDb to make sure this is that actually Ezra Miller, and or you know, or is that like someone who looks like him? That no, it was Ezra Miller, and I I don't know how they managed to keep that under wraps, because you know that's
Yeah,
pretty big. They connected the movie to TV universe.
which is something that people have kind of wanted forever.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were kind of upset when they casted Ezra Miller as the Flash because they liked what's his name, Grant Gustin.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, why can't he be the Flash? Why can't blah, blah, you know? And it's like, well, there's all kinds of weird logistics to that and stuff. But yeah, it was a nice little scene that kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest. Like it was a fun scene that came out of nowhere, and when that happened, I'm like, is there going to be anything else? Is there going to be any other crazy And there really wasn't, sadly. That was on the fourth episode, so like there was still like the last episode of the crossover where something could have happened, but well, the the final crossover they do kind of like do flashes to different like universes and stuff like that, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
and they show off like, hey, here's the people from Doom Patrol, and here's the people from Titans, and here's these people, and here's you know, stuff like that, and it was well done, and they they end up like solving an issue. Like this isn't a huge spoiler, but like they end up solving an issue that people have been wondering about, which is Supergirl's in one universe and the rest are in, you know, like the Arrow and Flash and Batwoman. They're in another one,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like very hard to get them to like do crossovers and stuff. They can't just like it's hard
Gotta
to just
find a way to
find
like,
a
oh,
way, and it can't just be like, hey, they're on this episode, or they're making an appearance here, because like you have to cross dimensions, or cross over to another whole universe. So it has to like pretty much you can only do it during like the crossovers, which I don't know if I don't know if I've told you this when I was talking about the other ones. The the Legends of Tomorrow people, they refer to it as crossover, where they kind of like breaking the third wall, or
yeah,
breaking the fourth wall about it. And I'm not quite sure if I like that or not. It's kind of weird.
a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when it goes down like that, but they end up like making somehow they end up all being in one world now, or one universe. But the end makes it seem like the multiverse is still there somehow. I don't know. It's weird. But, hey, Supergirl's now like at towards the end they showed like Supergirl and her sister and uh uh was it Batwoman, like, or I forget what her actual name is. Kate Kane. Yeah. They
Yes.
show like them just like on Supergirl's couch watching like the president speak about something, you know. And it's like this is the way the world is now, which they kind last year's crossover, teased how like they teased the like Supergirl Batwoman like friendship, because like that's a thing in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always like well, they're in different universes, so, or different earths, so like how is that gonna like, there was actually a point where Supergirl gets excited that 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 Batwoman's around, and she calls her Bat Lady at one point, which is very weird. That really threw me off. I'm not sure if that was a mistake, but like she's talking about like people doing different stuff or whatever, and like she says, and Bat Lady, and I'm like, the show is called Batwoman. She's Batwoman. You're supposed to be like good friends with her, and you're
It's
calling her Bat Lady.
eh.
Like it really was weird. Like, but
I heard that there's gonna be a like a Superman series now, like that Superman.
yeah, they announced that like I think back in December. It's gonna be Superman and Lois, and um, it's weird
The continuing adventures of Lois and Clark.
because somehow they have kids now. Because there's a point where she was talking to him, and she was like, "Hey, our two sons," and he's like, "Wait, what?"
Ooh, I only thought
Yeah,
Superman had one son.
I don't know, but apparently there was casting for like two boys for the show, and people have been speculating like crazy, like, oh, is it gonna be the Flash? Is it gonna be John and Damien? Is it gonna be Clark and Lex, like young, flashback stuff? Is it gonna like people were speculating back when the casting stuff was happening, I think in December. I gotta say, John Cryer as Lex Luthor is pretty good. I never thought I would say that, but he's pretty good as Lex Luthor.
I can't think of what he
He
looks like.
played Charlie Sheen's goofy brother in the Two and a Half Men.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
he's pretty good as Lex Luthor. It's pretty weird. Like he's a different Lex Luthor than like say Smallville's Lex Luthor, you know?
Sure.
But he's still like he's still an evil genius. Like you can totally believe he's Lex
Like
Luthor and
I'm looking at that stills, and yeah, you just looks evil.
he looks so evil and it's good and it's weird cuz like there's a point where like oh they kind of save they kind of save the world and the universe everything's back and oh here oh the character calls Kara and it's like, "Hey, you got to come here. They're giving away the Nobel Peace Prize." And it's like, "Oh, okay, I'm here." And it's like, "Oh, it's we're giving it to Lex Luthor." And she's like, "Wait, what?" And it's like, "Oh, don't you remember Lex Luthor's been your biggest you're and Superman's biggest supporter and stuff." And it's like, "Wait, what?" Like so that's going to be kind of interesting, I guess, with the Supergirl side. Like or fans of Supergirl because apparently, like the world likes Lex Luthor and thinks Lex Luthor is likes Kryptonians, and but apparently, like everyone forgot except for like they call them the Paragons, which was like I don't know, it's like kind of goofy. It was like certain people who needed to, you know, who were who are selected to save the multiverse by the Anti-Monitor or whatever, and it's like Supergirl's the paragon of hope, and so's the paragon of heart, and so's the paragon of this and that, like destiny. Like Sarah is, White Canary, she's the paragon of destiny because hey, she's time travels. But like they're the only
Well,
ones who like remember.
just look at him. You look so evil right there.
Damn, that's a weird photo. Wow.
That's a picture of Lenny Luthor from Superman 5, 4, 6. No, wait, which no? Superman 4. Yeah, 4.
Okay.
That's Lenny Luthor, who was played by John Cryer. It was Lex Luthor's nephew.
That's interesting. Huh. I never knew that. I never watched Superman 4 because.
It was me looking at pictures and I saw that one.
Okay. It's interesting. But yeah, like everyone, only the Paragon people who, and, like the sports, like only they remember like everything. And then Martian Manhunter ends up like filling everybody who's important who doesn't remember in on stuff. So that explains how like people who aren't those particular ones will be able to remember the crisis now. But yeah, like everyone's all in the same universe now.
Cool. Well,
I've
because
left
now
a I,
they're on the same channel now because they weren't. It was the whole reason why Supergirl was on. It was in a different universe. It was a different channel.
true, but even Black Lightning, he was in a different universe than Supergirl and the Arrow and Flash, which
Yeah.
I never knew. I thought he was in the same universe until that crossover when he showed up and it's like, "Oh no, he's from a different universe." And I'm like, "Oh, interesting. Why?" Like he was always on the CW. Why they throw why you know, I don't know. But I left a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff out talking about this. I've been trying to be as vague as possible because I do think you should watch it, Stuart, even if you haven't caught up on the other stuff. I think you can watch the 5 crossover episodes and be fine.
Okay. Yeah, I will at some point.
Yeah, it's on the CW app. Like that's the only way to stream the CW stuff is on their app.
Legally.
Oh yeah, legally, but watch the same anti-Trump ad 3 times in a row because it plays 3 times in a row. That happened to me a few times where it
All
gets
right.
to the point where I'm like, is this broken and I have to restart this, or is this just playing 3 times in a row? Like, but so yeah, that was fun. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what comes from that because now there can be more like, hey, or Batwoman's gonna be in Supergirl for this episode, or so and so is gonna be in part of the Legends for this that stuff can happen now since they're you know in the same world, same universe. Earth Prime it was finally called. So that'll be interesting. Um, but yeah, last thing is a movie.
Okay.
Terminator Dark Fate.
Ooh, okay.
This is out on VOD.
How is it?
It's enjoyable. I enjoyed it. It's the third best.
Okay.
Like it's not quite, it's not gonna. th- There's never a chance this was gonna be better than T1 or T2. I don't think they can make a Terminator movie better than T1 or T2, to be honest. I really don't. But this was
Probably
good.
right.
This was enjoyable. Um the what is it? There's a lot of questions going into the trailer, like, oh, is the person who came back in time, is she a Terminator person? Kinda like a la John Connor in Genesis, where it was like a Terminator human. Also, was it Sam Worthington in the other one, Salvation? He was
Mm.
like he was more of a Terminator who had like
Well,
didn't
yeah,
know he was a
he was
Terminator.
a Terminator that didn't know he was one. Yeah,
Yeah, but I think John Connor in that horrible Genesis movie, I think he was human, but he was like kind of
he was a
converted.
Terminator. He was, yeah, he was a Terminator.
He was like a cyborg, like converted, but he was human originally. That movie is a mess. But turns out no, this chick is just she's human, but she's augmented.
Okay.
So she has some upgrades that can, you know, and they do a good job with like, it's like, oh, then she's just like a no, she's not just like a Terminator. She can only do do these crazy stuff and defend in like short bursts, and then she needs like, adrenaline, or she needs like, I don't know, some different assortment of like drugs, like they go to like a veterinarian because it takes place in like Mexico at the beginning.
Wait,
And
going to a vet to get drugs. That was Terminator 3.
I don't know, but they they go to this like this vet place or whatever, and like hold up this place to get some kind of drugs, and she's like, oh, she names off stuff and says like, and also says like insulin and a few other stuff, so like I'm not quite sure what all, but like she needs some stuff to like recharge her, because she makes it clear she can only like do that stuff in short bursts because she's not, she's still a human. She's not a
Okay.
Terminator. So,
Okay.
and she's got to save this one girl, uh, whose name is like, she goes by Danny. I forget if her name's Danielle or Dan something. I don't think it's Danielle. I think it's something else, but she goes by Danny, and I gotta say, the chick who plays Danny, she does a pretty good job because her character definitely has some growth throughout the movie. Kinda a la Linda Hamilton in T1. And Linda Hamilton, she's great. She's fantastic. I really
Excellent.
enjoyed her. Like, when she shows up, she is 100% badass. Like,
Cool.
it's what you want from Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor coming back. Um, I'm not gonna spoil it, but the movie, the actual opening of the movie, it shows like Sarah Connor, like it's like looks like VHS footage, like old camera footage of like her and like the uh, asylum, whatever, talking about Judgment Day and all this and that, and how everyone's gonna die, and you need 2 million sunblock in order to live, and just again, it's like flashing and
Is
cutting
it the
out,
same?
and
Is it the same scene, like from the
I
um
think so.
from the prison from T2?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I haven't watched T2 recently. I should. I owned it, but I think I own
I
it. I
own it
think I
too
own T.
on VHS.
Yeah, I think I have T1, T Terminator and T2 on Blu-ray because they were like $5 at the time. So I'm like, why not? But yeah, it's like it opens up and you know, it's like because it's so old footage that you see the like the it cutting in and out and stuff like that, and it's very weird. Um, Also very weird. As it's opening up, you see 10 Cent Productions, because yes, 10 Cent had a hand in making this.
Great.
And let me tell
Great.
you about the microtransaction part of this movie. No, uh, but
Well,
yeah,
apparently
that
you
was
can
kind of
still
weird.
buy movie tickets for this. Like it's still showing in movie theaters
I'm sure it is.
in
There's
Berlin. It's the closest one near
mm,
me, Berlin.
okay, yeah,
I just kind of looked it up on Just Watch to see where I could rent it, and you can't rent it yet. You can only buy it.
yeah, as of now, but I think next week maybe it'll come out for renting.
Hopefully.
That's typically how it is. Like it's like a week or two exclusive to buying, and then
Yeah.
a week to do VOD or for rental. But I got to see it a certain way. So,
Okay.
but where was I going to go with this? The new Terminator, like it's weird. Like I'm trying to figure out how to say this without spoiling it. Spoiling anything. What do you know of this movie, by the way?
Just from like that first trailer.
Okay, yeah, the new Terminator's kind of weird because it can like I guess it kind of like answers a lot of people's critiques. Like, why don't you just send more than one Terminator? Because this Terminator can like split into two,
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's
I did.
shown
I
in the
did
trailer.
see. I think it did. Yeah.
Because like he in the trailer he's driving like a semi truck or something like
Yeah.
that, and then like I think that her name's Grace, who comes, the the Kyle Reese character,
Uh huh.
you know, her name's Grace. She comes back and like she's like throwing these like these metal like stake type pipe whatever things at the dude, and then he like in the while he's driving the like semi or whatever, and then he splits in half and or splits into two or whatever, and it's very weird. It's very weird. There, I think in the trailer there's also it also shows Arnold's back, of course.
Yes, it does.
That whole situation was kind of weird, but like I don't really want to spoil too much, but like it is like it kind of makes sense. Like the way they explain it in a way, if you like try not to think about it too much. It's one of those. It's a good action film. Like
As it should be.
if you're not trying to like, this isn't an Oscar worthy movie, but like it's definitely behind T1 and T2. Like it's it's a step up from T3 through Genesis because those movies were just not good. But this one was enjoyable. There was a lot of like they do have some like, oh, she said I'll be back. Oh, or stuff like that, but not too much. Like there'd be times where you're thinking, oh, here's where the famous line we know is going to come in, and it's like, no, they don't do that because the way the story is, that doesn't really make sense, you know, because like, he's not going to say "Hasta la vista, baby," because that's not the same Terminator from T2.
Right.
That's
He thumbs up his way into lava.
Yeah, so like there were points where I'm like, oh, he's gonna say, and then it's like, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Why would he say that? You know, as 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 T3 through Genesis would have done that stuff. They would have, let's do all these nostalgic things people love. Even if who cares if it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a great. It was a fun action film, like to just pop on and watch, and just you know, I I didn't see it in theaters because I was afraid. I was afraid if I saw it in theaters, it may not live up to it may not be
Well,
worth
it was officially a flop.
It was, but it's got good scores on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got a 70
The
critic and an
70,
82
yeah.
audience. Yeah, an 82 audience. So like, it's not bad. You know, I would definitely I would definitely give it around an 80. You know, if I was to rank it from 1 to 100, I definitely say that 82 is about close to where I would put it. It's enjoyable. It does some stuff differently. It has, it's definitely a divergence in the series. I can't
That was
really
part of
say
the
too.
Divergent series.
I've never seen those movies.
I'm not. I don't know if I have.
Is that the one with Mia Kunis and the Sam Worthington? No, that's Jupiter Ascending. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
that's
of
Jupiter Ascending.
the Divergence. That's I don't know. There were so many movies like that. So
Yeah,
many like
that's why I don't
young
know if I've seen it. That's
adult books turned into movies.
uh Woodley. She's in it.
Oh, okay, yeah. There was that. There was the
Maze Runner.
Maze Runner, and then there was the Ender's Game came out around the same time, and like there was a lot of those young adult books turned into
Yeah.
movies that I just nope, I'm good.
Ender's
But
Game. I was a fan of the books. I was a fan of the books in high school, so I definitely.
yeah, I see that's like available on like the Roku app for Roku. like to watch for free, weirdly enough, and I'm like, I don't know much about this movie. Like, I really didn't hear one way or another whether it was good or bad, to be honest, when it came out. But
Yeah.
the but yeah, it does split off, and it kind of makes sense why like how this is definitely connects to T2 but doesn't connect to the others. And like I said, I don't want to really spoil explaining further would spoil it, and it seems like you're probably going to watch this.
Yeah, I
Which,
will.
And I can't wait to hear what you think of it cuz like I said it's enjoyable, and I would definitely say, this definitely belongs with T1 and T2 as good Terminators. So we're 50-50 with Terminators now. Terminator movies.
Okay.
Because there was three: Salvation and Genesis, right?
Was there another one? I thought there was another one in there.
I think we've had this conversation where we feel like there should be another one, but there wasn't. Because it was three, and then there was the one with Christian Bale, and then there was the most recent one with
Yeah. Okay.
Emilia Clarke. Yeah. It feels like there should be another one somewhere in between those.
I really thought there was like two in between three and Genesis, but it was just
There was the
Salvation.
show. Maybe that.
No, because the show was good. So
Yeah, I've still only ever watched the first season.
second season's good. The leaves it on the biggest cliffhanger I've ever fucking seen, and then the show is canceled.
Ah, that's a shame.
Biggest fucking cliffhanger ever.
See, I don't think they've like resolved out in like comic book form, which they totally should. Which just I don't know why a lot of shows that get canceled early they don't try to like resolve the story in like comic book form or stuff like that because people would buy that stuff. But yeah, it's good. It's enjoyable. It's I like I said, I really liked it. I thought it was fun. There were some parts where I kind of winced a little, like, oh, really, you did that? But like, that's why it's not, well, that's why, like I said, it's not perfect movie, but compared to what we've had with Terminator, like, it's good. And it's a shame we've only had 6 Terminator movies in like 20, 30 years, 30 something years, right? When did Terminator was like 80
4.
84? Yeah, so like, yeah, it's a shame we've only had like 6 in like 30 something years. Yeah, so 36. Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
But I'd recommend people check that out if they're interested at all. Like I said, I waited to watch it at home because I thought, you know, I don't know. It might have been fun at the theaters too, but I didn't want to risk that. I wanted to lower my
I
expectations of it and watch it at home.
I honestly forgot it came out.
Yeah, it came out back in like October, I think. So, but yeah, enjoyable. So, and that's it for me. I got nothing else.
Okay.
So, I guess that's it for the show.
Yeah.
It was a good length show. We're high on anime right now because we're both on an anime kick right now.
Yeah, and I
Anime
haven't quite
binge.
decided on like the stuff that's airing now what I'm gonna watch. I haven't. Like nothing's jumped at me yet.
Like regular TV or
No, anime.
oh, anime,
Like
of course.
what's airing right now. Like nothing has jumped at me yet.
There's a couple things, but it's like, like I said, I'm trying to have like D Gray Man to kind of break up some stuff so I don't like power through a lot of the stuff that's complete right now because I want to wait for as much as I can for certain stuff to be completed because I don't like to wait week to week. It's so rough to wait week to week for an anime.
Yeah.
Netflix has ruined me.
It's ruined a lot of people.
And yeah, so that's where I'm at, but there's what I'm re- I'm still got some of the CW stuff. I think I'm gonna watch Flash and Arrow, see where that leads. Because last season of Arrow, last half of the last season of Arrow, which will be interesting where it goes without Oliver Queen.
Yeah.
How they have Arrow without Arrow, but
Speedy.
I can't remember where they I don't know. They do weird stuff with her and Roy, and oh, they're doing this. Oh, they go off in the sunset, but oh no, we decided no, this is gonna happen, and that like the last couple seasons of Arrow have been kind of weird with like Speedy and Roy and stuff like that, and then his future daughter Mia. Arrow gets weird.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but yeah, I'm kind of running out of different animes to watch, so I'm gonna have to try to find other stuff to watch if I don't find other animes to pick up the slack. So, but yeah, next week we'll probably switch back to tech and gaming.
Yeah.
So, like we said, we're probably gonna do a 1 week this, 1 week that type thing until you know there's just too much gaming and gaming news to talk about that we can't ignore.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but be sure to check out the website, thegeeksftw.com. There's links to all of our, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, stuff like that. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at the GeeksFTW. Stuart is at Casual Terror, and I'm at Geeky William. And we'll catch you next time.
And remember, no animals are harmed in making this podcast.
No, no, no.
You see the link that I put in?
I just did. Just clicked on it. Let's see. Oh, I saw this and I was like, I don't know about this. Seems a little weird.
I don't deny it. It's right up your alley. It's the stuff you love.
It's a little too much, it looks like. Especially especially some of the characters on this page. Like, oh my god. Wait. There's a wolf cat lady? Wait, what? That's weird. Or a cheetah. What is her? What is she? Is she a wolf or is she a
It's like a
cheetah
hyena.
or
It looks like a hyena.
hyena? Okay. Weird. I do have a few episodes of My Hero and Black Clover banked that I need to catch up on.
I don't think there was a new episode of Black Clover.
I don't know. There's one on Sunday. Oh, it looks like there's 2 coming out on Sunday?
Yeah, because I
That's
don't.
right. Sometimes they do that. They, like, won't air one for one reason, and then the next week they'll have 2 to make up for it, I think. I don't know. Have you do you know anything about that Fairy Gone anime?
Very gone.
I've seen it a bunch, like, all over Funimation. The link is right here.
See, from the director of Drifters, that was a very interesting anime. Hmm.
It seems, I don't know. I just don't know.
Oh, apparently it was in my queue. So, yes, I had seen it and put it in my queue.
Yeah, that's funny.
The, my queue's so long that I never go through it. I always go find something else.
Yeah, well, we know how my queue is. I'm like, oh, this is my queue. I should watch the. Oh wait, I've already watched this. I should remove
Yeah,
this.
watching something and then not taking it out of the queue is that. Yes, that has also happened.
Yeah. Oh, I think I've heard of this one. I think I heard of this today, actually, on a podcast I was listening to. I was wondering what they were talking about. That seems weird.
That's a name.
Yeah, I heard someone talking about that on a gaming podcast I was listening to, and I'm like, oh, that sounds very weird. Wait. Hmm.
The show Isekai Quartet is now adding Shield Hero to it. So it's now Isekai Quintet.
Wait,
Because
what?
there's a show called Isekai Quartet, and it takes
Okay.
characters from different isekai, like Overlord. What are the other? Sanya of Tag of the Evil, ReZero, Konosuba, and like just takes them out of their world and puts it them into another world where they're all in school. And they're adding Shield Hero to this now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I hope we get more Shield Hero. That turned out to be pretty good.
I think we are getting a second season.
You've ever finished that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. It was good how the one chick got what she deserved.
Shield Hero. Oh yeah, because we talked about it. Because as soon as I finished, I looked it up, and season 2 and 3 were both confirmed at Crunchyroll
Oh
Expo.
wow, 2 and 3. Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I just that like you were talking about like that's one of the most uncomfortable an anime has made me feel.
yeah,
That was like that was rough, but
yeah.
I'm glad I stayed with it.
Yeah, I'm glad you talked me into going back to it because yeah, I left. I stopped watching it.
Yeah,
I was so uncomfortable.
it was yeah, it really was. Yeah, I gotta watch this Demon Slayer, but no, I gotta finish Overlord. That's what I got. That's my next one. Yeah. Hmm. Crap, I didn't want to do that.
Well, I'm gonna get something to eat.
Yep, that sounds good.
I will talk to you later.
Alrighty, later.